What if you could retouch your portraits in just one click? Today I'm diving into Retouch for Me, an AI-powered set of plugins that promises professional level retouching at lightning speed. Hey, my name is Johannes and I'm a photographer and content creator, and I am passionate about making photography easier for beginners and pros alike. On this channel I share tips, gear reviews and editing hacks to help you elevate your photography skills. So make sure to subscribe if you're into that. One of the most annoying things that I know about portrait photography is the retouching part. It takes forever to do, even if you're pretty fast at it, and then you just end going overboard and do too much editing, so you make the model look like a plastic model and the whole image becomes very unnatural. So today I am working with Retouch for Me, an amazing set of plugins that can seriously cut down your editing time, whether you're doing street photography portraits or anything in between. And the best part, of course, is that I got a special discount for you if you're interested in this plugin that you can see here at the end of the video. Even though I'm not really a portrait photographer, I have done my share of portraits on the streets, but also with clients and doing personal projects. So I do know how complicated it can be to do all these kinds of edits with frequency separation and dodge and burn and stuff like this. And this is where an AI plugin like this can be really helpful to speed up your editing and also give you really great results if you're using it correct. Just a quick disclaimer, Retouch for Me did allow me to test out these plugins, but I am not paid to say anything. So this is how I've used the plugin, and these are my own experience and my own meanings about how this plugin works. So this is Johannes from the future, and I just wanted to add that you can use this plugin directly in Photoshop, or you can use it as a standalone extension directly from Lightroom. And in this tutorial here I will just show you the Photoshop part, because or else this video will be too long, and I will show you the Lightroom part in another video. So here we have a photo of this girl that I was doing a portrait session with. Actually, it was a bunch of American girls who hired me to do some portraits around New Haven, and I've just picked out this lovely girl here. I can't really remember her name, but she was really nice, and we took a lot of photos, and one of those was this one. And as you can see, she's smiling really nice, and she has some pretty nice skin, I think, but there are always like these spots of darkness, and she has some blemishes and stuff like this here in her forehead. We want to fix this, of course. I think I will just, for the sake of this, just use my Kodak Portra 800 lot that I have made, and then I will just go down here and I will do this auto align, and perhaps you can cut her in a bit because we don't want that much of the overhead part. Something like this. And then we will need a little bit more of exposure, and perhaps we can do something like this. I think this is a pretty good starting point for this portrait. So one thing with the Portra preset is that I have put grain on it, and I think I will go and disable this because this would kind of interfere with the image. So here we took off the grain, and we can see her skin again. There are two ways to do this. You can send the photo to Photoshop and edit it in Photoshop, or you can send it directly to the Retouch for Me tool and you can edit it in that tool. So let's just first do the first thing we can do, and that is send it to Photoshop. I think this is a program most of us use for retouching. I'll just zoom in a little bit on her face. And how I do this is I duplicate the layer just for the sake of it. And then you go to Filter and you go to Retouch for Me, and then of course you pick the filter that you want to use. And these are the filters that I was allowed to test out. And first I will go and do the heel part to get rid of some of the blemishes, and then the program really just go and do its own thing, and you can already see that like just with one click almost it took away so many of these blemishes. And let's just yeah, it really removes a lot. It also removes the little thing down here, which I don't want it to remove because I think this is a natural part of her. So what you could do is you could take the slider a bit down until it shows again like this, but of course then we get some of the other blemishes back, but these are mostly like these freckly things, and you can argue if you want to remove those. Another thing you could do is still keep it pretty high, and you can say make a mask. Let's just give it 100%, and then you hit apply, and then it turns the layer into a mask where it has removed the things here. So what you could do if you wanted to get this part back is that you could go to the eraser tool, and then you can just like paint it back in, so you won't get rid of all these parts. And I will just leave it like this. I really think it does a really good job in removing unwanted spots that you don't want, but still keeps her face pretty natural. Like you can see, it still kept this, and one could argue that do we want this here? So let's just use the repair tool and do this really quick. And there are also like a spot here. Perhaps we could get rid of this as well, just a little bit. So what I will do from here is probably I would make a stamped layer by using Ctrl-Shift-Alt-E, and then you can go and use another filter if you need to. And what we could use was like the touch and burn tool, and we will just see what did it do. And you can see, I hope you can see this, that it evened out some of the colors on her skin, like making her skin a bit more even. You can see, like, you can also hold this view mask, and you can see where it's working, like the yellow spots are the spots it's making brighter, and the bluish spots are the spots that it's making darker. And yeah, it's really just trying to even out the color on her face. It's definitely removing some of the spots down here, and you can actually even take it a bit further, like going all in. This is usually not a good idea, and you can go all the way down, and then it's just the original photo. So we will just keep it at 100. I think this seems to be a pretty good point. But what you can do again here is you can make it into a soft light layer and apply. And then you just have to go to make the layer soft light, and then you have the layer here, which means you can still like go in and work with the layer and change the opacity or the fill if you want to like make it a bit more subtle. So again, I would probably go and make another stamp layer, so Ctrl-Shift-Alt-E, and we can also see if we would like to use the mattifier. And what did it do? We just hold here to see. You can see it is evening out some of the highlights on her face, like on the nose and her cheekbone and her forehead. Also on her lips. And I guess this is a preference. Do you want this sort of glary look, or don't you want this sort of glary look? I will make it into a mask, and I will apply it, and then I will take the fill down, because I think we would like some glare. Perhaps we will just take it a bit down so it's not that intense, but it's still there, because this also helps our brain to figure out where the light is coming in, and it's natural that there will be some sort of difference in the lighting. We don't want like total flat lighting. This will not look good if you ask me. Like this was the before, this was the after, and we did this with minimum amount of work. And of course you can always go in and try to even out more. Like she has this this skin thing, I don't know what it's called here, but it is kind of leading your eyes to it, and I guess you could change this. I'm actually not aware if this was like a natural part of her, or I guess this is like personal preference if you want to remove this. I still think that she looks pretty and happy. And of course we could like go and remove the hair strands and stuff like this. This is not something that the plugin does. So there would still be a little bit of work, but I think that this result that we got here is pretty good. Another thing we could do is to use the Retouch for Me skin tone. And although this work is pretty subtle, this helps you kind of correct the skin tones if they're not completely natural. I think this looks pretty natural, and I also think this looks pretty natural. But if you go between those, I think you can see there is a slightly yellowish look to the original, and this is a bit more reddish, perhaps a bit too much. But like if we go in between like so, we could also make this into a mask, but I will just do it like this. So now we have this, and again the change is really subtle, but sometimes subtle is what you are going for. So the last plugin that I have gotten to test is the portrait volume, and what this does, it is adding some depth to the portrait by enhancing the brighter areas and the darker areas of the face. And you can see it is really sculpting her face in a way that enhances some of her features, like the lips and the eyebrows, and also a bit on the cheekbone. And this just really helps to make this photo a bit more 3D-ish. Let's make it into a mask. And here, this looks pretty scary. Let's go and change it to soft light. Here the changes are more noticeable, but it really helps to enhance the portrait, I think. So we get this more 3D-like feel into the photo. And again, you can always go and change the fill to like 50%, so we still get it, but not that much. And here, if you ask me, I think we have a pretty natural looking portrait that is really nice. And yeah, you could go and remove the hair strands, as I said earlier. You could also make this into a stamp layer again, and then you could retouch the eye a bit. This is just a plugin that I got from Pixelperfect. It's free. You can find it in one of his videos. Let's do this really quickly to see if we can make her eyes pop a little bit more. Kicker light. I'm not really fond of the kicker light, if I have to say so, but just really quick. That's it. Then you need to dab the highlight. Like so. We dab the kicker. This is usually where I think it's get a bit out of hand. Let's go. Then you pay on the white. That's it. You paint on the iris. Put some color back in. And then this is sharpening. Put some sharpening into the eyes. Also do a bit on the brows if you would like to. We are really zoomed in now, so this looks a bit too much. Paint on the iris again. This is like shine to the eyes, I think. And then we finish off, and then it kind of takes it a little bit back. And you can see this is what we did to her eyes. We added a little bit of interest and made it a little bit wider. And I think again, let's take this down. I'm not really sure if we should use the opacity of the fill, but let's go like 50. And then changes are a bit more subtle. Yeah, apart from the hair strands, I think this is a pretty great portrait. Let's just go to see the before and the after. So in like a really short amount of time, we got to this result from this. Still a pretty picture of this woman, but professional looking, and I think most people would be happy with this kind of portrait being delivered to them. So that's Retouch for me, an easy, fast and reliable way to step up your portraits editing. I've been testing out these plugins for a while now, and I'm really blown away by how much time they save me without compromising the quality of the edits. I actually think that they might even do a better job than I do myself. So if you want to try them out yourself, I got a special code just for you. You can use my promo code below and you can get a 20% off for any of the plugins. And trust me, you will really love these results. It is definitely worth saving this amount of time that you can do by using the plugin. So before we end this video, I also just want to address the giveaway that I was holding here on the channel about the Retouching 56mm 1.7. Because Retouching did write to me and said that they wanted to have the lens back. I've asked Retouching to any clarification on who did the best performance on their content and who get to keep this lens, and they're not really answering me. And this is of course really unfortunate, because I was hoping to give this lens away to one of you guys who participated in the giveaway. I'm really sorry about this, but there's really nothing I can do, because Retouching are not really being that transparent about how this test giveaway turned out. Yeah, but just to compensate the best way I can do, I'm giving away 5 of my lot packs to 5 of you who participated, and I will write to you in the comment section on the video about the Retouching lens. So thanks for watching this video. Please make sure to hit that like button if you found this useful, and don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this. If you like portraits, then perhaps you might be interested in this video that I will show you here on the end screen, because this is how I do moody self-portraits at home with just one light. Take care.